Okay, I grant that the passage "storms are my danger" is very broad, but the fact that Walter Kaufmann did include the personal letters of Nietzsche's psychic encounters with the lightning is very strange. I'm just wondering why Walter Kaufmann has not done anything about this. Like, it is no metaphor that when he's saying that an electrical disturbance because of a new sensory organ is creating a lot of suffering for him. The intensity of his emotions are being demonstrated through a kind of Tesla-like magnetic quality between all living sentient beings. And that same energy is what creates emotion and effect. And it's like when we feel like justice, when we feel virtue and love, all simultaneously, that's when these things occur. And if the emotional intensity is going to be risen around 2012, then yes, we'll all be somewhat potentially weather shamans. Nietzsche was a weather shaman. Emerson would not talk about the helpful genii in the air just as a metaphor for something. It's really not a metaphor. It's he's subtly hinting to those who know that yes, I have it too. And when I read Emerson, I knew this. I was wondering if I was the only one to ever know this. I wonder if Nietzsche knew about Emerson's belief in the breeze, or could Nietzsche just do the lightning? And Emerson had potential to do the lightning as well, but only did the breeze. So I'll just put the letters there again, because I put in that other video, but it's just not clicking for people. They just kind of look at it and like, oh, that's weird. It's more than weird. It's Nietzsche. Okay, the guy who said God is dead, we have a new kind of spirituality coming, also has psychic powers. What is this? What does this mean? And it's just very odd, every single Quetzalcoatl fact, and that, the fractal calendar that Quetzalcoatl created of 2012 is ending. It's in fractals of 20, just gets shorter and shorter, ends at 2012. And Nietzsche's eternal recurrence, something that might also be history repeating itself in a more psychedelic way, I think, than Nietzsche thought. I don't think Nietzsche's eternal recurrence was just a thought experiment. There's one side of the eternal recurrence that says you have to live your life over and over consciously, and it would just be boring because you already know what's going to happen. The other side of the eternal recurrence thought experiment, per se, is that we don't know it's going to be repeating, and that every time we get deja vu, it's kind of a reminder that, hey, you already have repeated this. So one area is when you are conscious of the repeat, and the second interpretation is when you don't know, and it really doesn't matter if you have to repeat history. But then if we incorporate, the turning point, 0 point, that's when it gets kind of interesting. Yeah. I mean, both Nietzsche and Quetzalcoatl had incest, and Quetzalcoatl rules the planet Venus. He burned himself and became Venus after he was so ashamed of that. Venus rules the sign of Libra. Nietzsche's the judge, the great judge. Libra's the sign of the scales. Quetzalcoatl returned the end of the 13th Toltec era, exactly 1844. William Miller in Aquarius Rabbit said exactly October 22nd, 1 week exactly after Nietzsche, Jesus would come down. I'm not saying he did, but I'm saying that universal messenger did come down. Who's gone beyond Nietzsche? No one. They might be entertaining, but they're not actually trying to change people. That's the real interesting thing about Nietzsche. He's the only one to ever call himself an antichrist. What is this? What is this? But yeah, read those letters again. He was having amazing transits too. I might post those as well.